Muy buenas tardes, mi gente. Today is Friday, August the 9th, 2024. Yes, we made it. Another week, guys. Another week. Como siempre, primeramente, mis saludos. Hi to my mom. And today I wanted to send out a saludo to all retail workers. Reason behind that, guys, this past weekend we did some back to school shopping. And the stores are like hell. They are a mess. Es un asco. You can't even walk through the aisles without stuff everywhere. You go to pay for your stuff. The cashiers look so enfadadas. The men too. It is just hell right now. It is hell. We tried going to the mall as well. I have two kids, two schools. We have one going into kindergarten, first time going to school, period. And my older one is going into middle school. So good thing she has 2 weeks to get it together and get going. But we did a little bit of shopping for her, obviously, at the mall. And let me tell you guys, if you are from this area and you are familiar with the Ontario Mills Mall, you couldn't even feel the freaking air conditioner. It was disgusting in there. If you're with the news, you hear that the COVID outbreak is huge right now. Huge. It is. I lived it firsthand. I mentioned before, my husband caught it a while back. It was one of those things. Thank God we all should, like, he was the only one that caught it, so it was okay. He was controlled. But right when we walked into the mall, I was already feeling regretful. I told my oldest daughter, I said, man, we're really gonna catch COVID right here. You couldn't feel the air conditioner. There was no clearance, like a foot in front of you. People left, people right. And then it's crazy because it is such a big mall. You go with traffic, right? So on the right side, you go a certain way. The left side, you're coming the other way. We were trying to go against traffic at first. So my husband's like, hey, I think we are going against everybody. We moved across the way. It was the same thing. You couldn't even walk. And then people act so rude, like they don't see you. You're getting run down by strollers. Un rollo y medio, un desmadre total. So guys, please be kind to one another. I know it's frustrating and I know you'd rather be everywhere else but back to school shopping. But number one, I'm pretty sure you left it for last minute, so you brought this upon yourself. And number two, it has to be done. So let's just make it a good experience. Get in, get out, get on with our life. Don't take it on the cashiers because your stuff doesn't scan. Don't throw things on the floor just because you don't like it or it don't fit. Come on, guys. If you have little ones running around, también echen ojo because it's scary. They can disappear in a heartbeat. So, yes, guys. I send you my love because that's what I'm doing right now. I feel for you guys. Honestly, I do. Hang in there just a little bit longer. All these kids are almost back to school. Before we get into the actual subject for today, it is for a little bit mature audiences, some of the stuff that I will be mentioning, if you know what I mean. So this is your warning, guys. You have been apprised. Alright, guys. So the other day I was sitting there reading an article, like on my story start, right? I'm reading an article. And a name that's very familiar came up. So as I'm reading more into it, I was like, what the heck? And the whole story caught my attention. So I was like, man, this is something that I totally have to talk about. If you have watched the Netflix series Stranger Things, you then know that Hellfire Club isn't a surprise, right? You know what that is. The kids' board game, whatever. Go missing, blah, blah, blah. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me suggest you guys watch the series. It is actually surprisingly very good. I was against it at first because it's really annoying. My kid was so into it. Then the whole family got into it. And then I got into it. We even went to go see like this like traveling pop-up event that they had, something very neat. Anyways, getting back to this subject I wanted to talk to you guys about. You would be surprised to know that the Hellfire Club was an actual thing. Yes, I know, right? It was seriously a real thing. So let me tell you, this club, Hellfire Club, goes back to the year 1718, and it started out in London. So the guy that got this club together, right? He was a double lifer. What do I mean by that? To the face of society, he was goody two shoe. Behind the scenes, he was a total freaking dirtbag. De lo peor. De lo peor. There is no other way to phrase it. He was a super powerful politician, and his name was Philip, Duke of Wharton. Yes, so let me tell you about this Senor Mr. Philip. He created this club, which was by members only. So you couldn't just knock on the door and say, hey, let me in. No, it was on invite and for members only. And it was for the big dogs, the uppity ups, the powerful people of society in that time. Yes, this Philip guy was a big time alcoholic. It said there he liked to riot, so era peleonero, he liked to fight. And he was always committing adultery. So era un freaking cheater to top it off, right? His immoral conduct, yes, I got it right, was worded as him being a rake hell person. What else can this possibly mean since he's already the worst of the worst, right? He was a womanizer to top it off and a big time gambler. That is what the life of Mr. Philip Duke consisted of. Anyways, since he had a whole reputation to take care of, he decided to have a hangout club, after school special, if you will, with all these other politicians and people of the society to let loose and be who they really were. And the word for that again is a bunch of freaking dirtbags. Sorry, but there's no other way to describe them. So yeah, they would get together and just do all this off the wall stuff and just be who they truly were. It was considered to be an all gentlemen's club, but they did have a bunch of women that were also members of this Hellfire Club. And it only ran for a couple of years because Philip had a lot of enemies, and they started, like, I guess, snitching and telling and making every time their meetings were, their gatherings came to be, they were getting broken up by the authorities. So yeah, they didn't like these people. They're like, no, you guys cannot be dirtbags even behind closed doors. So after so many of these meetings or gatherings or parties, however you want to refer to them, got broken up. Obviously, members stopped coming. It was an embarrassment. Obviously, you didn't want to be seen with these kind of people. You didn't want people to know what you guys were doing. So this little Hellfire Club came to an end. The year was 1721 and they were done. A lot of people frowned upon them too because they made a mockery out of religion. A lot of them didn't believe in the laws of religion, so they would sit there and mock it and this and that. They even went as far as having a devil logo to represent the Hellfire Club. So about 20 something years later, the year was 1746, a different man decided to start up a similar type of club. Non-religion believers, people of bad morals, and so on and so on. Of course, this was a different man. It was a different name, but it was the same intent behind it. This founder's name was Francis Dashwood. I'm gonna grab my cheater book because the names of his clubs I cannot remember, and I don't want to be double looking or looking cross-sighted. So let me get my book for you guys. He had several names that he ran the clubs under. The first one was Knights of St. Francis, Brotherhood of St. Francis, and Friars of St. Francis. So se quería ser santo el señor, right? He was really creepy though. He was beyond dirtbag than the previous guy. This man had actual tunnels built and caves built for his club hangouts, because his were like super memberships. Like you probably needed an ID card or something to get in. I don't know how he worked his system, but it was like the real deal. You needed code words and everything to get into his clubs. He had one specific hangout that he even had a river built around it. So the reason behind him building this river around this hangout spot, in Greek mythology, the river symbolizes a boundary, right? So you have earth and the underworld, and the river divides us. That is how freaking like creepy this guy was. Like, yeah, he was the real deal. Anyways, guys, this story even gets more what the heck, okay? I want you guys to guess who was one of his very common guests. Okay, obviously you can't answer me, so it's a rhetorical question, but I will answer you, and it was one of our founding fathers, the one and only Benjamin Franklin, guys. Yes, turns out Benjamin Franklin and Mr. Francis were BFFs back then. So Benjamin Franklin came by and hung out with the bad boys often enough. This one was a little bit more deeper and like dark in comparison to the one that Mr. Philip had, right? This one was known for black magic, satanic rituals, a bunch of orgies, and all this stuff, guys, was a regular practice. And this is what was happening in these tunnels, in these caves, with Mr. St. Francis being the leader to this club. Benjamin Franklin wrote a bunch of letters back home describing his personal experiences at these events. There was also mention of sacrifices that were done during some festivals. Truth or not, I don't know. You're in a freaking cave, you're in a tunnel, they're narrow, they're scary, they're dark. Would you doubt it? I don't know, but this story is freaking fascinating. Okay, so by the year 1760, the members declined big time. Everything was coming to an end because St. Francis, he started getting bigger responsibilities as Baron Le Despenser. I have no idea what that is, but that's a title he had out there. So yeah, his club came to an end. A couple years later, other people, different generations, different part of the world, decided to start such clubs, and supposedly they say that they are still present nowadays. I don't know. If you know, comment below. Tell me what you know, because like I said, this whole story is beyond fascinating to me. Like I said, the whole thing behind the Hellfire Club was already and then you add Mr. Benjamin Franklin to it, it's a double time. They say that in the 19th century, they started meeting in Ireland and Britain with these clubs. So yeah, guys, it's for us. All this is real. I did the research just to share with you. Well, guys, that is what I have for you today. Stranger Things was onto something deeper than just a board game. And Mr. Benny wasn't as boring as we thought, with that skinny little lip of his. Con esto los dejo. Los adoro. Have a safe weekend. Please do not drink and drive. Call your mother, call your brother, call the nephew, call somebody, but please do not drink and drive. Los adoro, raza. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.